someone in the Chi's lying, Rob is gone, and nobody's telling the full story. Kenya looks like she's holding back something big, and fans can feel it. Is it guilt? Is it fear? Or is it protection? One thing's for sure, until someone breaks their silence, Rob's death will stay one of the show's darkest mysteries. Rob wasn't just a background character who came and went. He was in deep, both with the streets and with people who mattered. From the moment he stepped on screen, he had a certain calm power. He didn't raise his voice much, but you could feel the weight he carried. His presence brought balance to people like Tiff, who had been through heartbreak and drama. When Rob entered her life, it looked like a fresh start, a soft reset. But if we've learned anything from the Chi, peace doesn't last long in this world. Rob had ties that stretched across the board. On one side, he was Tiff's man. On the other, he was Douda's business partner. That alone put him in a dangerous position. You don't get close to Douda without stepping into the fire. And with Tiff being Emmett's ex, the tension was always ready to boil over. Rob was stuck in a triangle, maybe even a square, where love, power, and money were all at stake. Now, Rob didn't make too many enemies on screen, at least not openly. He kept things low-key, smooth, and steady. But when you're around people like Douda, enemies find you whether you want them or not. At one point, Rob tried to be the voice of reason. He didn't want blood, he didn't want smoke. But in a city like this, sometimes staying neutral gets you killed faster than picking a side. And then, just like that, he was gone. No funeral. No crime scene, no full explanation, just silence. And in the middle of all that silence, we see Kenya. Rob's disappearance hit viewers hard not because of how dramatic it was, but because of how quiet it became. The show never gave us closure. Instead, it left us watching Kenya, who suddenly had this heavy presence. Every time she was in the scene, you could feel the tension. Like she was carrying something too heavy to speak out loud. She avoided direct questions. Her emotions were hard to read, but something was off. It was like she knew something the others didn't, or maybe something they didn't want to know. When we think back on Rob's last few scenes, there weren't many clear red flags. But that's exactly what makes this death suspicious. In the Chi, deaths usually come after beef, threats, or betrayal. With Rob, there was no big blow up, no clear motive, no lead up. Just a slow fade into the shadows, and that makes the silence around him even louder. It's also important to remember Rob's role in the business side of things. He wasn't just Tiff's boyfriend, he had money and was making moves. That brings in greed, jealousy, and danger. When money enters the picture, the list of suspects gets longer. It's possible Rob knew too much, or maybe he refused to do something shady. Maybe he wanted out. That's enough to make someone like Douda nervous. And when Douda gets nervous, people disappear. But again, that's just one theory. Because right now, there's only one person who might hold the missing piece, and that's Kenya. In the next section, we'll take a closer look at Kenya. Who is she really? And why do fans believe she's hiding something that could change everything? If Rob's death felt quiet and strange, Kenya's behavior made it feel even stranger. Kenya didn't start out as a major character, but ever since Rob disappeared, all eyes have been on her. Not because she's talking, but because she's not. Her silence has become louder than any gunshot or argument in the show. And in the Chi, when someone suddenly changes how they act, it usually means something big is being hidden. Let's go back and look at Kenya's role before everything went sideways. She was close to Rob, not necessarily romantically, but emotionally, like someone who understood him in a way others didn't. There were moments between them that felt more honest than what Rob had with anyone else. Kenya gave Rob space too. Be real and not tough, not rich, not connected, just real. That kind of bond doesn't just vanish when someone disappears. Unless, of course, you're trying to make it vanish on purpose. Asterisk ever since Rob went missing, Kenya's whole energy changed. She's become quieter, more careful, more guarded. When characters bring up Rob, she avoids eye contact. She shifts the conversation. She says just enough to not look suspicious, but never enough to give answers. That's not normal grief. That's someone protecting something. Asterisk, and then there's her face. Facial expressions don't lie. Kenya isn't sad in a way that feels clean. She doesn't break down or cry openly. She doesn't rage or scream. Instead, it's this bottled up, controlled pain. Almost like she's punishing herself or preparing for something worse. That's not the look of someone who's just mourning. That's the look of someone who's carrying a secret. Asterisk, let's not forget her sudden distance from other characters. Before Rob disappeared, Kenya was more present in group scenes, more involved in conversations, but now she keeps to the background. She only speaks when she has to, and even then, her words feel calculated, like she's trying to make sure. She doesn't say too much. That's a red flag. Asterisk, and here's where things get even more suspicious. Kenya has not asked for justice. Not once have we seen her push to find out what happened to Rob. No long talks with the police. No scenes showing her searching for clues. No pressure on anyone in the crew. Why is she scared of the truth? Or does she already know it? Asterisk, there's a moment in episode 3 of the season, for example, where someone casually mentions Rob and Kenya freezes, not for long, just for a second. But the camera catches it, that tiny pause, the silence, the way she looks down instead of up. That's not nothing. The writers wanted us to see that. In shows like The Chi, every quiet moment means something. Asterisk, some fans believe Kenya made a deal. Maybe she was forced to stay quiet by someone powerful like Douda. Maybe she was threatened. Maybe she saw something she shouldn't have seen and now has to act like she didn't. Or maybe, and this is the theory that has people really talking, she's the one who pulled the trigger. Asterisk, as wild as that sounds, we can't rule it out. Kenya could have been involved in something deeper than we thought. She might have been caught between loyalty and survival. Maybe she didn't mean for things to go that far, but once Rob was gone, she knew there was no turning back. Asterisk, that would explain everything. The silence, the emotional shut-off, the lack of questions, the disappearance from the spotlight. It would mean she's not just a witness, she's a player in the game. Asterisk, still, we don't have proof. And Kenya hasn't cracked yet, but fans can feel the tension rising. If the past seasons have taught us anything, it's that secrets don't stay buried forever. Asterisk, in the next section, we'll break down the most popular theories from fans online. Who do they think killed Rob and why? And how does Kenya fit into those stories? Asterisk, when a character disappears in the Chi, it's never random. Someone always knows more than they're letting on, and fans, they've been paying attention. Online threads, fun forums, and social media have exploded with theories about Rob's death. Most of them agree on one thing: it wasn't just some street robbery or accident. Rob's death was personal. It was planned. And whoever did it had something to gain. Asterisk, let's break down the top suspects and the theories that have everyone talking. Asterisk, theory number 1. Douda made the call. Asterisk, let's start with the most obvious suspect, Douda. It's no secret, Douda is the king of controlled violence. He moves in silence, but when something threatens his power, he strikes without hesitation. And Rob, he was getting too close to that line. Asterisk, even though Rob was in business with Douda, their relationship was never equal. Rob was trying to play the game clean. He wanted to make legit money, stay above the chaos. But Douda doesn't work that way. To him, loyalty means obedience. And Rob wasn't always playing by Douda's rules. Asterisk, some fans believe Rob wanted out. Maybe he saw something that scared him. Maybe he refused to push product or get his hands dirty. That would have made him a liability. And in Douda's world, liabilities don't last long. Asterisk, here's the twist. If Douda did order the hit, it's possible Kenya knows. That would explain her silence. Maybe she overheard something. Maybe she walked in after it happened. Or maybe she got a warning. Say a word, and you're next. That kind of fear could keep anyone quiet. Asterisk, and let's not forget Kenya's been keeping her distance from Douda lately. No eye contact, no direct scenes. That's not nothing. Theory number 2, Emmett reached his breaking point. Asterisk, another name that's been floating around? Emmett. Asterisk, at first, it sounds wild. Emmett's not a killer. He's emotional, but not violent. Still, let's look at the facts. Asterisk, Emmett's life has been spiraling. His relationship with Tiff fell apart. His connection with Keisha is constantly under pressure. And through it all, Rob stepped in and became everything Emmett couldn't be: stable, respectful, calm. To make it worse, Rob was raising Emmett's son. Asterisk, that's a heavy thing for any man to carry. Asterisk, some fans think Emmett didn't plan to kill Rob. Maybe they got into a fight. Maybe words turned into fists. Maybe something snapped. If that happened, and Rob ended up dead, Emmett would have panicked. He would have gone straight to someone he trusted, and that someone could have been Kenya. Asterisk, this theory paints Kenya as a protector. Not guilty, but loyal. She might have helped cover things up to protect Emmett, knowing how much he's already lost. That would explain the guilt we see in her eyes, and why she never accuses anyone else. She's already chosen her side. Theory number 3, Tiff set him up without realizing it. Asterisk, this one cuts deep. Tiff, the woman who loved Rob, might have gotten him killed without even knowing. Asterisk, some fans believe Tiff was moving too freely between worlds. She was spending time with Emmett, staying close to old friends, and keeping Rob tied into business deals that weren't clean. That mix of personal and professional might have made Rob vulnerable. Asterisk, what if someone followed her? What if they saw Rob as her weakness? Or what if a deal went bad and Rob paid the price for something Tiff never saw coming? Asterisk, in this version of events, Kenya may be holding the guilt for Tiff. Maybe she blames her. Maybe she thinks Tiff brought danger into Rob's life. Maybe she wants to scream it, but can't because she knows it would destroy Tiff. Asterisk, that internal struggle would explain Kenya's coldness. Not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much and doesn't know how to say it. Asterisk, wildcard theory, Kenya herself. Asterisk, now here's the theory that keeps fans up at night. What if Kenya did it? Asterisk, it sounds extreme, but every time Kenya avoids a question, every time she walks away instead of speaking up, it fuels this idea. Asterisk, some say Rob might have uncovered a secret about Kenya. Something dangerous. Something that tied her to a part of the city she had tried to leave behind. Maybe it wasn't premeditated. Maybe it was a fight, a mistake, a cover-up gone wrong. Asterisk, if this is true, it would make Kenya one of the most tragic characters on the show. Not evil, but broken. Someone who did the unthinkable and now lives with the weight of it every single day. Asterisk, it would also explain why the writers haven't shown us Rob's body or any flashbacks. They're hiding something, and they're waiting for the perfect moment to drop it. Asterisk, at the heart of this mystery is not just what Kenya knows, it's why she's keeping it inside. Her silence isn't just a plot device, it's a character's full-blown emotional war. Every glance, every pause, every quiet exit says the same thing. Something inside Kenya is breaking. Asterisk, but here's the hard truth. In the Chi, silence always has a price. Asterisk, Kenya isn't just caught in a mystery. She's caught between two impossible choices. On one side, she has the truth, whatever it is. On the other, she has people she loves, people she might be protecting, and maybe even her own safety at stake. And if she speaks, one of those things might be destroyed forever. Asterisk, let's say Kenya is protecting someone, maybe Emmett. Maybe Tiff, maybe someone the audience hasn't even considered. That would mean every day she wakes up carrying a secret for someone who might not even know she's protecting them. That kind of loyalty isn't just painful, it's lonely. She can't grieve openly, she can't ask for help, she can't even cry in front of the people who miss Rob the most, because the moment she lets herself feel it, the secret might come out. Imagine living with that pressure. Sitting at a dinner table, laughing with people you care about, knowing one wrong word could destroy everything. Kenya isn't just holding a secret, she's holding a grenade. And the pin is barely holding. Now flip it. What if Kenya isn't protecting someone else, but herself? If she played a direct role in Rob's death, even if it was an accident, her silence becomes survival. And that's a different kind of burden. That's not about loyalty. That's about shame, guilt, fear of being hated, fear of losing everything. Because no matter how strong the person is, no one can carry that kind of weight without cracking. And that's exactly what's happening. Kenya is starting to crack, not with words, but in how she moves. In the earlier seasons, she walked with purpose, confident, focused. Now, she lingers. She hesitates. She looks like she's stuck into timelines, the one where Rob was alive, and the one where she's pretending not to know what happened. It's subtle, but viewers feel it. Then there's the emotional fallout. Kenya's relationships are changing. People around her are starting to notice. She's distant with Tiff. She avoids conflict. And when someone brings up Rob, she either changes the subject or walks away. That's not a coping strategy. That's a shield. She's building a wall around herself, brick by brick, hoping no one gets too close. But walls don't hold forever. Especially not in the Chi. And the closer we get to the final episodes of Season 7, the more pressure builds. Kenya's choices are running out. The truth wants to come out. Whether it spills in a fight, in a moment of guilt, or under threat, it's coming. And when it does, the question isn't just who killed Rob. It becomes who else will be destroyed when the truth is finally told. Because in the Chi, truth always has a cost, and Kenya is about to pay it one way or another. Every season of the Chi builds toward one thing: revelation. Secrets rise, characters fall, and someone always pays the price. This time, all roads lead back to Kenya. Her silence has become the emotional heartbeat of this mystery, and the tension can't hold much longer. So the question is simple, but dangerous. Will Season 7 finally make Kenya talk? The writers of the Chi are masters of slow burn storytelling. They know how to keep us guessing. They give us just enough to stay hooked: a glance, a tear, a skipped line of dialogue, but they never hand us the full truth until it hurts. That's what makes Kenya's storyline so powerful. It's not loud, it's quiet, it's uncomfortable, it's personal, and that makes it real. If you've been watching closely this season, you've seen the signs. Kenya is being backed into a corner. More characters are starting to ask questions. Her name is coming up more often in conversations about Rob. Even when she's not in the room, she's in the story. And when a character becomes that central, the show is building towards something. In storytelling, that's called pressure layering, and it means something's about to explode. So how might the truth finally come out? It could happen through confession. Kenya might finally reach a breaking point, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Maybe she have a moment where she can't lie anymore. Maybe she tell Tiff everything. Maybe she cry in the arms of someone unexpected. If that happens, the fallout will be heartbreaking, but honest. And fans might finally get closure. It could also come out through exposure. Someone else might find out. Maybe Emmett uncovers something. Maybe Douda slips up and drops a name. Maybe there's a voicemail, a photo, a conversation that was never meant to be heard. That's when the secret becomes a weapon, and the danger level shoots through the roof. Or the most tragic option of all, The secret dies with her. Asterisk, maybe Kenya stays silent. Maybe she takes the truth to her grave. It wouldn't be the first time a character in the Chi made that choice. And if the show wants to remind us how cool the streets can be, that would be the way. Painful, raw, real, asterisk. But Kenya isn't just a side character anymore. She's become the center of something bigger, something that represents not just Rob's story, but the show's themes of loyalty, silence, and survival. Asterisk, if she speaks, she risks everything. If she doesn't, she loses herself. Asterisk, either way. Kenya's silence is running out of time. Asterisk, asterisk. So now we turn the question to you. Asterisk, do you think Kenya will finally reveal who killed Rob? Asterisk, is she protecting someone or hiding her own guilt? Will she break, or will the truth stay buried forever? Asterisk, drop your theories in the comments. Let's break this wide open together. Asterisk, and if you're loving this deep dive into the Chi, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown. Asterisk, because in this show, no secret stays secret for long.